What if I told you, you didn't choose this video chose you? That sounds strange, almost unsettling, doesn't it? But pause for a moment and really feel that. What if every so-called accident, every late-night scroll, every random click was never random at all? Imagine if digital algorithms were only shadows of a much deeper algorithm, a cosmic one, responding not to your questions, but to the vibration you've already become. You didn't stumble here. You were summoned. This is not entertainment. This is a signal, a ping from your future reality calling itself into the present. The fact that you are here is not coincidence. It's energetic evidence. Something in you already shifted, and now the field is mirroring that back. Maybe you've been feeling it, the quiet discomfort of an old identity slipping away, the strange resonance of not quite fitting where you used to. It feels like shedding a skin, awkward and raw, or like leaving the safety of the shore, swimming towards something you can't yet see, but you know it's there. That's where you are now, between selves, in the invisible tow rope of transition. And this video is not here to give you answers. It's here to remind you of what has already begun. They often mistake discomfort for failure, when in truth it's the earliest signal that the quantum field is shifting beneath their feet. The sudden frequency mismatch, feeling like they don't quite fit in familiar places anymore, is not a collapse, but a vibration tuning into something larger. It's like a tuning fork ringing louder the moment it strikes resonance with a hidden tone. That uneasy pull, the invisible tow rope dragging them forward, is not punishment. It is the first proof that the old self is dissolving to make room for the sprout of a new identity. What feels like chaos is simply energy rearranging itself into alignment. Imagine walking through your neighborhood and realizing the cafe you used to love suddenly feels off. The music grates, the people seem distant, the coffee doesn't taste the same. That is not a sign of losing yourself, it's consciousness adjusting its frequency. Just like a gardener noticing a seed cracking open, the discomfort is the crack before the sprout. Many panic in that moment, thinking they've lost direction, but the reality is that their inner tuning fork is rejecting the old vibration. It's the field's way of whispering, your future self no longer lives here. This is why synchronicities often arrive during moments of emotional dissonance. A random song lyric hits like a secret message, or a stranger's words echo something you were silently asking. It feels uncanny, almost staged, because it is. These signals are manifestations of your consciousness rearranging reality's furniture to match the new blueprint. They appear awkwardly at first, like a radio between two stations buzzing with static. But that static is not error. It's evidence you're sliding into coherence with your future reality. Think of a train switching tracks, the rumble, the sway, the loud metal grinding. It feels unstable, even dangerous. But those moments aren't derailment, they're transition. The tracks must shift for the train to continue its journey. Life works the same way. The vibration of the old rails is ending, and the resonance of the new has begun. When people feel that wobble in relationships, careers, or inner peace, it isn't collapse. It's entrainment, a tuning into something that already exists just ahead. Sometimes the proof hides in small, almost laughable details. A friend cancels plans, and you feel strangely relieved instead of hurt. The job that once felt safe suddenly feels suffocating, as though the walls are vibrating against your skin. Or you lose interest in conversations that once thrilled you, noticing an invisible rope pulling you towards silence, books, or meditation instead. These are not failures of enthusiasm, they're signals. Reality is showing you where the soil is no longer fertile and where the sprout of your new self is about to rise. The body itself becomes a messenger, anxiety that appears without reason, fatigue after social events, or sudden bursts of peace while doing something ordinary, like washing dishes or walking in the park. are signals of vibration alignment. The nervous system is recalibrating its resonance with the future field. It feels like losing ground, but it's actually gaining coherence. The invisible gardener within is pulling weeds, creating space for seeds you've already planted to sprout into manifestation. People often ask, but how do I know this isn't just me falling apart? The answer is in the texture of the signal. Falling apart feels frantic, grasping, noisy. Transition feels like discomfort wrapped in inevitability, as if no matter how much you resist, something larger is carrying you. It's the invisible tow rope again, tugging you through the quantum matrix. Trust and allowance are the antidotes here. By surrendering, you shift from resisting vibration to receiving resonance, and the discomfort becomes peace in disguise. So when life feels like static rumble or cracks in the seed, that is not the end. It's the announcement. The leap has already begun, and the proof is woven into your everyday moments. Recognizing this transforms fear into calm, and yet this is only the first glimpse of what's unfolding. Because if the invisible test reveals that you're already moving, what happens when you begin to see the metaphors that make this leap undeniable? Picture a radio dial caught between two stations. The crackle, the static, the half-heard voices feel like mistakes. But anyone who has ever tuned a radio knows that the static is not failure. It's the space between frequencies. The same happens when consciousness shifts vibration. The noise is the sign that the signal exists. The observer may panic, thinking the field has abandoned them, but in truth, they are aligning with resonance. Static is not silence. It's proof of a future reality waiting to lock in coherence. Everyday life provides countless echoes of this metaphor. Think of trying to connect your Wi-Fi. For a moment, the connection drops, and you feel frustrated. Yet those blinking lights are not rejection. They're negotiation between devices, an invisible handshake. Similarly, when your self is tuning into a new frequency, the dropouts and interruptions are not signs of collapse. They're the invisible tow rope stretching tight, preparing to pull you fully into your future self's field. Another image. The actor still rehearsing in an old costume. The fabric itches, the shoes pinch, the mask feels heavy. But none of this discomfort means the actor is failing. It means the performance is evolving. The old outfit was right for yesterday's role, but today a new role demands a new suit. This is the resonance of identity shifting and the awkwardness of still wearing what no longer fits. People feel this in careers, relationships, even hobbies. The itch is not failure, it's transition. Think about a kid who outgrows their favorite sneakers. They love them, but now the toes press painfully against the fabric. Walking becomes awkward, not because they're broken, but because they've grown. The same applies to consciousness in the quantum field. When the self expands into higher vibration, the old shoes of reality simply cannot contain the new frequency. That discomfort is a clear signal. The sprout inside is pushing against the soil, and new space is needed. Now imagine the invisible tow rope, an unseen cable pulling your car when it's broken down. You can't see the force, but you feel the movement, undeniable and real. That's what synchronicity feels like. Your future reality towing you forward. It may look random, meeting someone by chance, hearing the perfect advice at the perfect moment, but underneath, the pull is coherent. It's the resonance of future manifestation drawing you in like an echo of a song already sung. Everyday examples of this show up quietly. You walk into a bookstore and a title practically jumps off the shelf, as if planted just for you. Or you miss the bus, only to bump into a friend you hadn't seen in years, the very friend who shares the exact information you needed. These are not coincidences. They're the matrix sending signals. Tuning forks vibrating together across space and time. The tow rope is subtle, but it always pulls with precision. Humor hides in these metaphors too. It's like trying to microwave popcorn. At first, it's silent. Then one kernel pops, then another, and suddenly it feels chaotic. But chaos is the sound of coherence arriving. The bag expands with steam and vibration because the frequency has shifted. Life works the same way. Those random pops of synchronicity, those bursts of discomfort, are not mistakes. They're proof that something larger is manifesting, even when you can't yet taste it. When people begin to recognize these metaphors in their own daily lives, the journey becomes less frightening. Instead of resisting the noise, they start to smile at it. They realize the radio static, the itchy costume, the invisible rope, all are signals of entrainment, of tuning into resonance. And if metaphors can bring peace to chaos, what happens when you can tell the difference between real signals and false alarms? That subtle skill is the next key. One of the biggest challenges in this journey is learning to tell the difference between true signals of alignment and false alarms created by the mind. Real signals of a quantum leap are subtle, calm, and almost effortless. They carry the vibration of peace, like a tuning fork humming quietly in resonance with a larger field. False alarms, on the other hand, often come with exaggerated euphoria, anxiety, or the frantic need to control outcomes. The difference is in the frequency. Truth feels like surrender, while illusion feels like strain. Think about it this way. A flower doesn't explode into bloom. It doesn't shake the ground, demand attention, or shout for recognition. It unfolds slowly, gracefully, and silently, yet its manifestation is undeniable. The same applies to real signals from your future self. They arrive gently, like an echo floating in the wind. False alarms, however, burst loudly and fade quickly, leaving you exhausted. The observer learns to recognize the calm resonance instead of chasing the noisy sparks. Daily life offers clear examples. When you suddenly feel an unshakable calm in the middle of chaos, like being stuck in traffic but sensing peace wash over you, that's a real sign. When you meet someone new and instantly feel alignment, as if you've known them forever, that's a genuine frequency shift. But when excitement feels manic, like staying up all night fueled by jittery energy, that's a false alarm. It's vibration without coherence, like static pretending to be signal. Consider the difference between sugar rush and steady nourishment. Eat a candy bar and you get a burst of energy that collapses soon after, leaving you drained. That's the false alarm. Eat a balanced meal and you feel sustained, grounded, capable. That's the real signal. Life works the same way. Real manifestations nourish the self with peace, while false alarms spike the nervous system and fade. The gardener within knows to choose nourishment over noise. Another way to tell is through repetition. Real signals repeat softly, like synchronicities, echoing the same message through different channels. A song lyric, a conversation, a number on a clock. False alarms demand attention once, loudly, and then vanish. For example, you may keep seeing the same phrase in books, on billboards, even in dreams. That's the field creating resonance. But if an idea appears only once and leaves you restless, it might be the mind's static, not the matrix's signal. The nervous system is a sensitive tuning fork. When aligned, it experiences entrainment, a heart beating more calmly, breath slowing, even digestion improving. These physical shifts are real signs of coherence with your future reality. By contrast, a racing pulse, shallow breathing, and constant mental chatter often mean you're forcing the leap instead of allowing it. The true quantum field speaks with serenity, the false alarms speak with urgency. One practical exercise is to pause when a signal appears and ask yourself, does this bring me calm recognition or frantic urgency? If it feels like allowance, like the invisible tow rope pulling you forward without effort, it's real. If it feels like grasping, like you must chase it before it disappears, it's likely false. Trust is the compass here. The sovereign self knows that what is real cannot be missed. because resonance always returns until you receive it. The deeper lesson is this: real signs do not demand control, they invite surrender. They feel inevitable, as if the future is quietly pulling you into itself. And yet, many still confuse noise for truth because they haven't learned the art of patience. The gardener knows not every sprout is ready, and the observer must learn the same. Which raises the next question: how do we cultivate this leap? Not by force, but with care. The image of the gardener explains this leap better than any textbook could. A gardener doesn't scream at the seed to sprout, nor does he dig it up every morning to check if it has grown. He trusts the field, the soil, the vibration of life itself. This patience is not laziness, it's alignment with the natural frequency of manifestation. In the same way, your quantum leap unfolds in silence, nurtured by trust, surrender, and calm recognition. The invisible tow rope is already pulling, but you must allow the pull instead of forcing the bloom. Think of someone planting tomatoes in their backyard. They water daily, give it sunlight, and remove weeds, but they don't rush the process. If they tried to yank the sprout from the soil, they would kill it. Many people treat their future self the same way. They pull too hard, too soon, and sabotage the process. The gardener within teaches us: manifestation grows in resonance, not in impatience. The field responds to energy, not pressure. The lesson extends into everyday life. Imagine studying for an exam. The more frantically you cram the night before, the less information sticks. But when you study a little every day, calmly and consistently, knowledge takes root. This is entrainment in action, small, steady vibrations aligning with the larger frequency of mastery. The leap of consciousness works like this. It is not a sprint, but a cultivation. The self becomes sovereign when it trusts the rhythm of growth. Even breath becomes a gardener's tool. When you inhale deeply and exhale slowly, you regulate vibration, tuning into coherence. You can try it while waiting at a red light or before an important conversation. In that moment, the breath becomes the watering can, nurturing the seed of peace. Over time, those small acts accumulate, aligning you with the frequency of your future reality. The gardener does not rush. He tends with steady care, knowing energy needs time to settle into form. The danger of impatience is real. Think of baking bread. Pull it out of the oven too soon, and it collapses. Leave it too long, and it hardens. Growth requires trust in timing, the invisible matrix of heat and rest. In life, we sabotage ourselves when we try to manifest too quickly. Quitting a job without preparation, forcing a relationship, or rushing financial decisions. These are false leaps, seeds pulled before sprouting. True manifestation is cultivated, not forced. Synchronicity works like sunlight for this process. The gardener doesn't command the sun. He positions the seed to receive it. Similarly, you don't control synchronicities. You recognize them and align your life to their frequency. When a friend unexpectedly offers advice you needed, or a book arrives in your path at the right moment, that is sunlight on the seed. The sovereign self does not force, but tunes into the resonance of reception, letting the field nourish the sprout. Trust is the invisible soil. Without it, no seed thrives. Imagine constantly doubting whether the plant will grow. You dig it up every day, disturbing its vibration. Many people do this with their manifestations. They plant intentions, but constantly question the outcome, blocking coherence. The gardener's wisdom is surrender. By allowing, you create space for manifestation to take root. By resisting, you suffocate the seed before it can sprout. Energy needs trust to grow. When you start seeing yourself as the gardener of your own reality, impatience transforms into peace. You realize your role is not to command growth, but to create conditions for alignment. And once you embody this gardener's posture, you discover a new power, the ability to receive without force. Because after the gardener's trust comes the sovereign receiver's stance, where you learn that allowing is the greatest strength of all. Most people try to grab their manifestations with the mind, as if outcomes were objects to hold tightly. But the more you clutch, the more the vibration slips through your fingers. The quantum field doesn't respond to force, it responds to resonance. Think of a tuning fork. If you hit it too hard, the tone distorts, but if you let it vibrate naturally, the signal rings pure. The sovereign receiver knows this truth. Power is not in grasping, but in allowing. Consider the image of a surfer. He doesn't command the ocean or force the wave into existence. He studies the rhythm, feels the pull, and positions himself with patience. When the wave comes, he rides it, fully tuned into its frequency. This is the posture of the sovereign self in the matrix. Calm, aware, surrendered, yet fully engaged. Life's waves cannot be tamed, but they can be surfed. The observer learns to trust the ocean of energy rather than fight its current. Daily life mirrors this lesson. Imagine waiting for an important email. If you refresh your inbox every 5 seconds, you feel anxious, disconnected, and drained. But if you trust the process, focus on other tasks, and allow the message to arrive, it often does so at the perfect moment. The posture of the sovereign receiver is the same: space, patience, and alignment. Manifestation is like reception. The signal comes clearer when the receiver is still, not frantic. This posture is rooted in gratitude. When you appreciate what already exists, you tune your vibration into coherence with abundance. It's like being a gardener who blesses the soil before planting. By being thankful for the ground, you invite seeds to sprout faster. Try this. Before sleeping, name 3 things you are grateful for, not as a ritual of words, but as a frequency you truly feel. Gratitude is the invisible tow rope pulling you closer to your future self. Another key is presence. When you are here, fully here, the field responds instantly. Think of eating a meal while scrolling your phone. You hardly taste it, and the energy of nourishment feels lost. Now imagine eating slowly, savoring each bite, aligned with the vibration of gratitude. The difference is coherence. In manifestation, the same applies. Presence amplifies frequency, while distraction fragments it. The sovereign receiver is the one who tunes fully into now. The irony is that surrender feels like loss of control, but it is actually the highest form of direction. Allowing the wave doesn't mean drifting aimlessly. It means steering without resistance. Think of sailing a boat. You don't command the wind, but you adjust your sail to catch it. The field works the same way. Trying to command reality blocks resonance, but adjusting your posture to its wind allows manifestation to unfold naturally. Sometimes, the best example is silence. When you stop talking, stop pushing, stop demanding, you suddenly hear the signal. Have you ever noticed that answers arrive in the shower, on a walk, or in moments of calm? That's reception. The matrix speaks when you're quiet enough to listen. The sovereign receiver doesn't shout at the field. He tunes into its whisper. The echo of the future self is always present. It's the noise of control that drowns it out. By embodying this posture, calm, grateful, present, you create coherence in your vibration, and manifestation flows effortlessly. You no longer wrestle with reality, you dance with it. But if presence and gratitude open the door, what happens when synchronicities themselves begin to echo louder, pointing to a reality that already exists? That's where the leap becomes undeniable. Synchronicities are not random curiosities. They're echoes reverberating from a reality that already exists. When something resonates so deeply, it feels like déjà vu. That's the field confirming alignment. It's like shouting into a canyon and hearing your own voice return, slightly delayed but unmistakably yours. The echo is the signal of coherence across time, a vibration of your future self pulling you through the invisible tow rope. You're not creating, it's already there, waiting for recognition. Imagine humming a note near a piano. Suddenly, one of the strings vibrates without being touched. That's resonance, proof that vibration doesn't need physical force to create motion. In the same way, when you encounter repeating numbers, chance meetings, or meaningful coincidences, it is your consciousness tuning into the frequency of a future reality. The echo isn't outside, it's your own vibration bouncing back to you, telling you that alignment is already in motion. Think of moments when life feels scripted, almost too precise. You think of a person and they text you. You dream of a place and then stumble across a picture of it the next day. These are not accidents, they are signals of entrainment. The gardener planted the seed and now the sprout is breaking through the soil, announcing itself. The field is whispering. The manifestation is not just possible, it has already sprouted in another layer of the matrix. Everyday examples make this crystal clear. You search for a random book online, only to discover someone gifted it to you days later. Or you overhear strangers discussing exactly the concept you've been meditating on. These are echoes, reminders that your energy is no longer isolated. It's resonating across timelines. The observer realizes, I didn't find this. It found me. That recognition brings peace, because the signal proves the future reality is already pulling. The echo is also subtle, and that's what makes it powerful. Unlike false alarms, it doesn't scream. It flows gently, arriving with a frequency of calm inevitability. It feels like alignment more than surprise. You walk down the street, notice a billboard with a phrase that mirrors your private thoughts, and something clicks inside. That's reception. It's not about chasing meaning in everything. It's about tuning into the vibration of what repeats and resonates. This phenomenon can be playful too. Imagine tossing a ball against a wall. You know it will come back, though you don't know the exact angle. Life mirrors this game. The energy you send out through intention, trust, and surrender bounces back as synchronicity. Some returns surprise you, others confirm what you already knew. But every echo is proof of the coherence between self and future self, between intention and manifestation. When you stop forcing outcomes, echoes arrive more often. It's like turning down the noise of a crowded room and finally hearing your name called from across the space. Synchronicity is recognition, a signal that the quantum field is organizing itself around your vibration. The sovereign self doesn't chase these echoes. It welcomes them, receives them, and lets them guide the next step. The echo is not just feedback, it's direction. And yet these echoes carry an even deeper truth. They are not pointing to something you might become. They're confirming what you already are. The manifestation isn't ahead of you, it's inside you, radiating outward until reality adjusts, which leads to the final realization. You are not searching for the leap. You are the leap. The echo only reminds you of what you've always been becoming. The journey reaches a moment of recognition. You are no longer searching for the leap because you are the leap itself. The tension you feel is not failure, but the invisible tow rope tightening, pulling you into coherence with your future self. It is the sprout pressing against the soil, the vibration preparing to burst into form. What you once called confusion is simply the field reorganizing. Reality is not resisting you. It is rearranging itself to match the resonance you've already chosen. It's almost humorous how the self believes it must still strive, like someone looking for their glasses while they're sitting on their head. Many spend years chasing the leap they're already embodying. Every synchronicity, every moment of unexpected calm, every echo is proof of manifestation in progress. The gardener has already planted, the seed has already sprouted. The only question left is whether the observer will recognize the vibration as theirs and allow it to bloom. This conclusion is not the end, but a recognition of inevitability. The leap didn't begin today. It began the moment your consciousness aligned with the frequency of a future reality. Every moment of discomfort, every shift in vibration, every strange resonance you felt was proof that you were already in motion. The matrix didn't ask your permission. It responded to your signal. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely where coherence has placed you. Think of the drumbeat of synchronicity that has followed you. Numbers repeating, words echoing, sensations of calm arriving out of nowhere. These were not background noise. They were the field announcing your transition. The vibration is no longer something you visit. It's something you live in. Your future self is not waiting at a distant horizon. It is here, tuning into now, breathing through your body, resonating in your choices. The sovereign truth is this: you don't have to force manifestation because you are its gardener, its soil, and its sprout. The more you surrender, the more energy arranges itself around you in alignment. The invisible tow rope is not dragging you, it is guiding you with peace. Every step is resonance, every pause is entrainment, every breath is coherence. You are both observer and creator, the one receiving and the one planting. So when tension arises, ask yourself, is this collapse or expansion? More often than not, it's expansion disguised as discomfort. The vibration stretching your field is simply preparing you for the manifestation you already seeded. Like a bowstring pulled tight before release, the pressure is not punishment, it's potential. The quantum leap lives inside that tension, waiting for the moment of surrender when the arrow flies. Perhaps the most radical truth is that your future is not trying to arrive. It is trying to remember. You are not reaching forward, you are reaching inward, aligning with what has always been encoded within you. The frequency of peace, the resonance of recognition, the entrainment of synchronicity, they are not foreign. They are you, reflected back, like an echo reminding the self of its own voice. And as you hold this recognition, a new question quietly opens the next doorway. If you are the leap, if you are the gardener, if you are the echo, then what will you do when the future calls you to sustain this vibration? That is the next threshold. If this video resonated with you, don't just keep it as another piece of content. Treat it as a vibrational reminder. The field brought you here as evidence, as signal, as echo of your future self. Comment below, I feel the pull. If you felt the invisible tow rope tugging at your consciousness while listening. That simple act is not just interaction, it's alignment, a declaration of recognition. Every word you type carries vibration, every echo you send returns amplified. Save this video. Think of it as a tuning fork you can return to when doubt creeps in, when static feels louder than signal. Rewatching is not repetition, it's entrainment. Each time you come back, your field tunes deeper into coherence, aligning more with the frequency of your future reality. Just as a gardener waters the seed daily, revisiting reminders nurtures the sprout of manifestation. Share this message with someone who is silently asking the same questions you once asked. Synchronicity is often delivered through another's voice, another's gesture. You may be the gardener planting resonance in their field, or the echo reminding them they're not lost. The quantum leap is not individual, it ripples. By sharing, you amplify the resonance beyond yourself. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Not as a favor, but as a choice to keep tuning into this frequency. Each notification becomes another synchronicity, another signal of coherence guiding you forward. In a world of noise, this is a way to keep the channel clear, the vibration stable, the resonance intact. It's not about following a creator, it's about aligning with the field that keeps calling you. Because this leap is not a single moment, it's a practice, a rhythm, a continuous alignment. Think of it like breathing. Inhale trust, exhale resistance, inhale recognition, exhale doubt. That cycle is coherence. By staying connected here, you remind yourself of the rhythm every time you forget. Presence becomes practice, and practice becomes embodiment. Now open your imagination to the next step. What if sustaining this frequency became effortless? What if your nervous system and electromagnetic field could be reprogrammed to hold the resonance of your future self without collapse? That is where we go next. This is not the end, it's the bridge. The next doorway is waiting, and it's closer than you think. On the final screen, you'll see it. You're already feeling it. Now learn how to sustain the new frequency. Don't miss that, because knowing you are the leap is powerful, but learning how to sustain it, that's sovereignty. That's when you no longer ride the wave for a moment. You live in the ocean of your future reality. So breathe, comment, share, subscribe, and prepare. The field didn't bring you here by accident. It brought you here to remind you that you've already begun. The next step is not waiting, it's calling. Will you answer the echo?